Good evening. Can you guys hear me?
Good evening. Yes, sir, we can.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, good afternoon,
Yes.
wherever you
Good
might be joining us
evening.
from
Good
today.
evening, sir. We can hear you.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so excited about tonight, and I want you to be excited as well. Firstly, I would like to know where you are joining from this moment. Could you please use the chat button box to tell me where you are? Tonight, we're going to engage in a conversation. Also, I would love you guys to put on your camera. Let's see who is in the boardroom with us tonight. This is a business boardroom. I want to see your faces. I want to be excited like you are. You've decided to dedicate 7 p.m. UK time with us tonight. And we're going to give you tons of value this evening. So please put on your camera. Let's see your handsome and beautiful faces. We are excited about tonight. It will be one of the piece of information that can revolutionize 2026 for you, that can change your paradigm, that could mean so much for you. And I just want to charge you to have an open heart tonight. We give you information, process it, and run with those information, because those information will change your life. And I'm not saying this because I want to say that. And also, tonight is not a church program. This is purely a business program. It's not a KICC event. It's not a KICC program. This is a business opportunity event. That's why we call it a roundtable conversation. And you have the privilege to ask as many questions. There's no silly questions. Whatever question you have in your heart, please put it on the chat box. And we're going to take every question tonight. So, but the earlier you can put your question through, the better for us, because we want to keep this, we want to wrap up everything within 2 hours. Okay? Also, when you're asking your question, use the reaction button. Raise up your hand, use it so that we don't want it to be crowded. And please remain muted, except we ask you to unmute so that we can have a good conversation tonight. You know, some of you have encountered with me, you've engaged with me, and you've also engaged with our host tonight. But for those who are joining us for the very first time or trying to, that doesn't know me, I migrated to the UK 25 years ago. And it's been a wonderful experience. And tonight, I'm privileged to be introducing my spiritual father, my mentor, that I've been under his tutelage for the last 2 decades, 2 decades plus. I've been under him, and I can tell you whatever you hear tonight can change your life. This man has been instrumental to many people of color globally to change their mindsets. Many people of color have been able to start new things, start new businesses, invest in real estate, and the testimonies are just there. So I don't want to spend so much time to introduce our host. You know him already. That's why you are here tonight. And I know that you are hungry, you want to hear what he's going to say. So without much ado, I'm going to bring on live with us that is in the house. Let's give it to him, Pastor Matthew Ashimoloho.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Brother Mayo. Such a great joy. I'm privileged to be here tonight. And I'm ready to speak. I'm ready to teach. I'm ready to share. I don't know if you want me to go ahead or you have a question for me, Mr. Mayo, before I start.
I know you've spent weeks to prepare for today.
All right.
So I want you to give us what you've been preparing that we are salivating already. So give it to us. And I'll start, after your presentation, I'll ask questions. I've got lots of questions, and
All right.
also keep bringing your questions on. The
All
earlier,
right.
the better for us.
All
Thank you,
right.
sir.
Thank you so very much, and welcome. A big welcome to everyone on the platform across the world. Some of you it's afternoon in Canada and the United States. Some other people probably it's much earlier, and for those in Africa, it's much later than even for us here in the United Kingdom. Tonight, talking about the chance to invest in Africa with a very special and a very strong emphasis on Nigeria and Lagos in particular. Let me just summarize what I'm going to say with a couple of statements, and after that statement, I shall expound. First is to let you know that Lagos economic growth and stability is a reason for investment. Secondly, the population growth and urbanization of Lagos is a very major reason for investment. Lagos has been predicted by the United Nations to grow in the next 24 years to become the largest city on earth. The largest city on earth. In other words, it is now somewhere between 24 and 27 million, with close to 10,000 people coming into Lagos daily. In fact, it should grow to like 80 million by 2050. But I think, I suppose, give and take, people passing on, people moving on, they say it will be minimum 40 million people by 2050, which is just 24 years' time. And if you know anything about real estate, 24 years sounds long, but you will be amazed what happens in 24 years. Tonight also I'll be sharing with you investing in real estate in Lagos, how it brings you high yield, either in the value, rental yields, or even the value of your property. The fourth thing we'll be sharing tonight is how Lagos is a strategic location, and particularly if you are buying a land, a place which already has infrastructure in place, how it lifts the value of what you're buying. The next truth we'll be sharing today is that the country is beginning to wake up to the necessity for putting in place good government policies. And matter of fact, it will interest you to know that 2025 real estate overtook the oil industry in Nigeria. It will also interest you to know that this week, somewhere between Monday and Friday, the World Bank, along with Elon Musk, actually rated the economy of Nigeria as the sixth growing right now. And it's very interesting. I fly in and out of Nigeria almost every week. I just left Nigeria yesterday. And it's very interesting that while you have people who are Nigerians who live in the diaspora who sometimes have trepidations about their own country, I have not been in any flight where in business class, upper class, first class, passenger level is no less than 30%, 40% foreign. Tonight we'll be looking at diversification opportunities, why you need to diversify. Tonight we'll be looking at the cultural and lifestyle appeal of Lagos. I'm sure you have heard of the Dirty December, even if it's not your thing, and even if you are in the age bracket like I am, and you just want to sit in your room drinking your tea, yet there is a mass migration into Lagos towards the end of the year that is almost unbelievable. Matter of fact, the state of Lagos itself began to plan for that of next December from January when they saw the magnitude and the inflow of money. Tonight also we'll be touching tourism and hospitality boom in a city like that with 27 million people and growing to 40 million. The chances of tourism and hospitality increases. There is a time in Lagos, somewhere between October and December, when it is almost hard to get a room in some Airbnbs and hotels. The seventh, or rather the eighth I'll be sharing tonight is Makarios' specialism in creating what appeals to you as a person in the diaspora. And of course, it appeals to those of you who live in Nigeria, but we have made our vision to be well-rounded. Then we're going to share with you steps you can take to be successful in your own real estate investment. To make it easy tonight, I will just say that I have technically over-prepared. I might not finish all the notes I have prepared, and at a point, I may actually just choose to jump. I have like 5 or 6 major sections, and I'm going to do PowerPoint so that whatever I'm sharing, you can screen grab it, you can quickly write it. I want you to be truly well informed. That's the way I am. I like to leave people with adequate information so that information helps your decision making. So the first thing we need to deal with is your mindset and my mindset in real estate. And that's where we're going to start, the foundational mindset and actions which you need to take. And I'm going to be as fast as possible, hoping that every statement made makes an impact on your mind. And if I raise any questions on your mind, please drop it in the box. Mr. Mayo and I will try to deal with them. So we go 200 points. We'll not finish all. We'll try our best. Point number 1 and 2, think ownership, not just rent. There's so many people who live in rented apartments all of their lives because it's easy, but they do not realize they are increasing value for somebody else. You need to create legacy for yourself and for children and grandchildren. And for those of you who know the good book, the Bible, it says, a good man leaves an inheritance for children's children. Didn't even mention your children. It skipped one generation. Number 2 tonight, think legacy, not short-term profit. There are some things that quickly give you short-term profits. Real estate is one of those that become a legacy that can be in the family. And if you have never had the need to sell, you'll be amazed what it has become. I will share illustrations as they come to my head. In 1991, my family and I lived in a part of London where I formed the habit of going for a long walk early in the morning. And I walk into the city of London. We used to live in a part of London near Whitechapel called Shadwell. And I noticed that the people of my color will be coming out of these big buildings by 6 a.m., 7 a.m., having gone to clean. And people in black, men in black, will be going in to do banking. And it just hit me that something has to happen. We need to find a way to challenge the man of color to create wealth. For those who know me, from that time I began to teach in the city of London major wealth creation seminars, owning properties, how to buy a property, if they give you 25 years to pay the mortgage, how to pay it off in 10 years, 12 years. Suddenly, many people rose to become millionaires in the community. Matter of fact, I carried it, put it on our TV programs, on Christian channels, on cables. In fact, some cable stations, including one that was known as God TV, will put a disclaimer and say we're not responsible for Matthew's opinion, because I was going straight and really telling the people how to overcome their bankers who just want you to keep creating wealth for them. In the process, a large number found that they were owning their property because if it's on mortgage, somebody else owns it. Not only did we teach that, we now taught them how to use the same building and use the equity to buy the second one, the third one, the fourth one, the fifth one, and the rest is history. So let's move into the rest of our notes tonight. Invest before infrastructure arrives, number 5. Or rather, let me go number 3 and 4. Think location first, design second. In other words, you should think of the location where the real estate will be And that helps because you see, many people in the diaspora, we're all guilty of this. We go and build in our village, not thinking of the fact that it may not increase in value. Number 4, treat land as currency, not expense. When you buy real estate, it increases in value to the point that in 5 years, 10 years, you are even wondering, how did this happen? I can think of people who bought into Makarios when we launched. So those who bought 300 square meters for only 33 million naira 3 years ago, 2022, 2023, 300 square meters in the first part of our estate, and the first of our 2 estates is now 97. What did they do? They put down 33 million. They didn't even cut the grass. The land increased in value. The person who bought 500 square meters for 55, 57, it is now kicking the 150 million level. What did they do? They didn't cut the grass, they didn't do anything. Can you get that in the Western Hemisphere? No. I've lived in London for 42 years, came into London February 11, a day like this in February of 1984. In a few days' time, I'll be 42 years in the UK, or rather, maybe, 42 years in the UK. But you could never get that kind. Number 4, treat land as currency, therefore. It is money increasing itself with you almost doing nothing. 5 and 6 reason for real estate: invest before infrastructure comes. In other words, many will say, how many facilities are in the area? Do they have restaurants? Do they have parks? Once that comes in, you have not taken advantage and grow with the area. While I tell you of 42 years ago in the United Kingdom, I can also tell you stories of 53 years ago in the city of Lagos, as I came in to visit my brother to resume in seminary on the outskirts of Lagos, Ikorodu. At that time, for those of you who are from Nigeria, there are places I will mention, and you'll be shocked if I told you they were all forests. Mile 12 was a thick forest. K2 was a thick forest. Half of Maryland was a thick forest. Ikeja was half forest and a few houses. At that time, Allen Avenue in Lagos, Nigeria was being sold for 1,000 naira for a plot. Okpebi Road was sold, Okpebi was sold for 500 naira. Yeah, you heard me, 500. Well, there was the Catholic Church on Tony Street in the same Ikeja. It was the only thing on Tony Street. As a young pastor in Lagos, I used to wonder, these Catholics, what's wrong with them? Why do they buy and build in forest? I didn't know they saw what I did not know. They understood real estate. Number 6, buy where the population is migrating to. Suddenly, the city of Lagos exploded. I mean, I could just take you through the whole city, but because of time, I cannot even forget as a young pastor, our church denomination bought a land in a place called Idimo. It was a very thick forest. We would fill a big Molue bus to go there and help cut grass. I also remember that I was the young man who helped to hold the stick for the surveyor, Jones Anthony, who measured the 20 acres for the 4-square church. I just went with him out of fun because we are friends. Just 2 years ago or last year, 2 years ago, I went to speak there. It was impossible to get that thick, dense city now. That's what happened. Number 7, hedge inflation with physical assets. Inflation will not stop on earth. It will keep increasing. The only way to handle inflation is for you to have an asset. Number 8, invest in cities, not villages. One of the reasons not to invest in villages is because value hardly rises. And even if you need to fix something you're building in a village, the amount that will fix it will almost be like building another one. When I was a young man, a bachelor at the age of 27. I bought land and built my first house. But guess what? No one was teaching what we're doing tonight. I built it in a small town called Modakeke, next to Ile-Ife in Nigeria. The first money I ever had at the age of 27, still a bachelor. I was invited to buy in Lagos, but I had all kinds of funny ideas in my head. Ladies and gentlemen, at some point I had to practically abandon that house because just the cost of roofing would buy me some plots in Lagos. Would have even bought me an acre in Mowe, which I later bought a large sum of land in Mowe. Number 9 and 10, think in decades, not in months. Oh, my word. If I could tell you the impact of this, you just heard me mention a village called Mowe. I went into that village and bought acres of land. You see, my story is very long. I began to bring in musical instruments into Nigeria as a young pastor. From the musical instruments, I made some money. Wanted to go study in Canada, but then I was sent to England by the denomination. A pastor friend, Tunde Joda, dropped in my spirit, why don't you bring Christian books into the nation? Money couldn't leave Nigeria at that time. It was Abacha, Babangida time. So with all my money, I brought in Christian books, became the representative of 40 publishers. We were the only one distributing books in the whole nation. Everyone bought from us. So I had money, couldn't take it out. That was how I went and began to buy land. Unknown to me, and there were not many people teaching then, unknown to me that I was taking a path, and yes, it must be the leading of God, that led into buying land, buying up villages that were close to Lagos, not knowing that population will get there. Number 10, buy scarcity, avoid excess supply. So today, when you hear of a city like Lagos exploding in growth, it is wiser to buy the place where you think that land is going to be scarce here tomorrow. Things are going to be scarce here tomorrow. For example, the city of Lagos is growing in the Ibejuleki direction, and very soon there will be no land available. All will have been allotted. So you buy scarcity now, and not just buy something that looks excessive and cheap, because you may pay the consequence later. Number 11, invest emotionally and analytically. In other words, sometimes when you want to invest, we become too analytic that we don't bring in our emotion. Or sometimes we bring in too much of our emotion and we are not analytic. You need to combine both so that it is sensible a decision, and it is also that which sits well with your emotion. You cannot be over careful and you miss opportunities. You cannot be careless and you buy trouble. Number 12, think global standards, but African opportunity. In other words, a place like Makarios. Tonight, we're going to be presenting to some of you who have not heard of it, two estates. One of them have apartments which you can rent out as Airbnb or short lets. We are building with global standards in mind, but we are presenting African opportunities. And when we say global standards, as you know, most materials that you find in a house are bought from around the world. There is no market separate for Africa. All of us go to the same market. But the African opportunity is that the same house, for example, a 2-bedroom apartment, which we're going to present to you tonight, at somewhere around 40,000 pounds, is in the city of London, 300,000 pounds. That is global standard, African opportunity. Number 13 and 14, choose developers, not just land. There are times, particularly people in the diaspora, somebody had approached them and said, Someone is selling land. They didn't think of, are they developers? Do they have a name? Is their reputation on the line? That's part of what you consider. Because somebody told you, I know a one Baba who is selling, you might be buying trouble. Number 14, invest where the government is spending. As I speak to you today, I told you I just came back from Africa yesterday. Day before yesterday, I went to Makarios. We have two Makarioses, Makarios Luxury Place, Makarios Champions Place, because we are getting it ready to lay foundation for the Villaggio, the apartments. I went every day during this week. As we were leaving on Thursday for me to fly Friday morning, we went on the new road, the coastal road. So the first one, the Lekki Ekpe Expressway, is a new infrastructure put in by government, costing so much. Actually, the roads have been made with concrete. You know, Africa, our logistics is still, we use trailers to carry everything. When I was a little kid, trailers were not the things that carried petrol around Nigeria. It was the train. So now the Lekki Expressway is ready, but then the coastal road, oh my God, that is the road which, if you want to go to the east, if you want to go southeast, if you want to go anywhere from Lagos to Ogun State to Ondo State, close to Ekiti State to Edo State to to Bayelsa to Cross River to River State, this new road called the Coastal Road, once you hit it, you are driving by the sea. We drove from Makarios Champions Place back to my house. Back to my house. The government is spending, sometimes all we hear of is corruption in Africa. And sometimes you find that sometimes there is a belittling of efforts being made to put infrastructure in place. And we who are owners of the land tend to not be the first to move. Many times it's foreigners who have moved. Number 15, 16, see land as leverage for capital. See land as leverage for capital. When you have money sitting in an account, sitting in a bank, you have not leveraged it. What is leverage? Leverage is anything you use to increase capacity or ability. The reason your jack can lift your car is because there is a lever inside the jack. Number 16, think appreciation and cash flow. So when you own land and when you own property like these apartments or the villas in Makarios, it is appreciating as the economy grows, as population grows, what you have increases in value. 17 and 18, I've got to zoom as fast as possible today. 17 and 18, position for future zoning upgrades. In other words, as the city grows, the nation is also zoning. So you keep hearing me talking of Lekki, Ekpe, Ibeju, Lekki. From Lekki to Ekpe is now called the Lagos New City. The city, the state itself have designated that corridor as the city of the future, putting infrastructure in place, creating systems in place, and they have started working on an international airport so that part of Lagos even has its own airport. The free trade zone is 20 minutes from Makarios. The airport I mentioned, 10, 15 minutes from Makarios. The Dangote refinery, about 20, 25 minutes from Makarios. In fact, when you are in Makarios, you are seeing the flaring of gas from afar off, even though it is very far. Number 18, buy assets that banks respect. The bank does not respect certificate, does not respect other things, but value assets. I personally have not tried it, I don't think the bank will ask you to come and take a loan or give you some kind of fund for a project you want to carry out because you have Bitcoins. I don't know. I'm not a Bitcoin person, but I'm a real estate person. 19 and 20, invest where the wealthy are moving. You see, real estate, land is land, earth is earth. But the people who live in a location cause value to come to it or value to move away. That's what Makarios is doing. That's the area. In fact, when Makarios Luxury Place moved in that direction, every estate that came up had to raise their standards because we came and said we're building a luxury estate, giving people a suburban experience. Number 20, choose prestige over convenience. At some point, particularly as a diasporian, you need to think of convenience and to think of prestige also, not just convenience alone, but prestige, value. And the level of value that Makarios brings, in my opinion, is probably bigger than some of the high name places that we know in Lagos. Victoria Land is a great name. Ikoyi is a great name. But the designers of Ikoyi and Victoria Island made a huge mistake. I can drive into any street if I get to Lagos today. They did not create a system of a firewall. In Makarios estates have a firewall to create protection and to create a system of deciding who enters. So those who live in Makarios can sleep and be able to have peace inside their estate, creating serenity, security, and community. That's the vision of our first estate. Let me share with you the advantages of Lagos compared to many places you may be, particularly for those of us who live in the diaspora. If you invest in Lagos, you are joining the economic nerve center of Nigeria. 60% of all business done in Nigeria is done in Lagos alone. You heard me. Yes, a nation of 245 million people, several cities, 400 languages spoken in Nigeria. 400, about almost 500 languages spoken in Nigeria. 60% of all business done in the nation is done in Lagos. 65% of VAT paid in the whole nation is paid in the city. See, how come? Because Africa's migration system is not like Europe. In the United Kingdom, for example, driving license is handled in Wales. Health services is handled somewhere in the Midland. Somewhere else handles another thing. In Africa, everything is concentrated in Lagos. Number 22, follow Lagos GDP growth trends. And you will see that the level of growth, if you own real estate there, and if you came in now, you took advantage. You will leverage 23, you will leverage 25 million population now and 40 million by 2050, which is 24 years time. You'll be able to target high density employment corridor. 25, 26 says you'll be able to invest where urbanization cannot be stopped. It's just Lagos. I mean, I sometimes I have to go around the city. I'm just shocked when I see the crowd when I go to Amukoko. It's like everybody lives here. Then you go towards Abule, but then you think everybody lives here. Then you go towards Ikeja, everybody lives here. Buy property before population pressure peaks. Although Lagos may have a challenge of peaking because everybody is drawn there. In fact, the whole nation lives there. And you need to take advantage, not to come in as those crawling from the bottom, but growing with the city. You need 27, 28 to use Lagos housing deficit as an opportunity. Lagos has a housing deficit. Nigeria has a housing deficit. of currently 20 million conservatively put, and it's likely to grow. Can you believe this? In 25 years' time, it's likely to grow to like 80 million because the rate of build is not catching up with the rate of need. And that's why Makarios, having built villas and built 4-bedroom terraces, we're now building 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom apartments, which has become a major desire of the upwardly mobile young people. So you exploit Lagos rental demand imbalance. There is imbalance. A lot of young professionals finishing their studies around the world or in the nation who want to work there, and particularly where Makarios Champions Place is, where we're building the terrace, the apartments. So many foreigners are now working in the free trade zone and have to drive 1.5 hours back to go look for somewhere to stay in Ikoyi. Those who come into this our vision take advantage. 28, 29, 30, invest where migration never stops. I told you, it's ever increasing. 10,000 every day. Buy in Lagos and buy into the expansion zone. And when I tell you Makarios Champions Place, where we have the apartments, and by the way, the lands are also available, what the government is doing is giving allocation to estates that have the money to be able to get government allocation, so that up front, the government realizes that it did not plan in the past. People had to plan the city of Lagos by themselves. So the government now have created a corridor of the future where people can plug in and they buy, and as people move in, value increases with what you have. I told you the story of Okpebi when it was 500 naira. I was a bachelor. I still remember my fiancée, who became my wife, following me to go speak in a church. And the man saw me there and said, "They're selling land here for 500 naira." I looked at him like, hey, my Christian conviction is that Jesus will come soon. When I was now ready, knowing that, yeah, he will come soon, but I need a house for my family, I bought a plot of land, 10 million. The same place that I should have bought 500 naira. I went back to buy 10 million. So land does not wait. You need to align 3132 with Lagos's long-term master plan. The city realizes that the United Nations prediction is real. You can't stop people from coming. So they are actually creating master plans that will make the city work. And then you need to invest near commercial clusters. I'm going to jump in my notes because I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you on section 3 briefly, which is Ibejuleki New Wealth Corridors and why you should take action. You see, this is the New Wealth Corridor. I'm not talking of just owning a piece of property in Africa, but it's a wealth corridor that will in return value to your money, 41, 42, buy inside the Lekki Ekwe growth axis, invest near Dangote refinery. It's a new thing that even people who are outside of Africa, who are not Africans, realize that this place presents the opportunity to do something to grow your money. What you who's watching today considers to not be much may just be your step in creating wealth for the future. Your 30,000 pounds can get you something like a 1-bedroom short-let or Airbnb. And if you get regular rent for it, you'll be amazed how the same 1-bedroom returned your money in 4 or 5 years and your house is still standing. Let me go back to what I told you about Okpebi. So I buy the land for 10 million and built with 45 or thereabouts. So it became 55. flats in front, a house at the back. We stayed in the house at the back every time we went to Africa. The 4 flats was rented by the Turkish college. In 7 years, they paid me for the land and the whole houses I built. And later, when I was going to sell everything, that was my profit. 44, position around the free trade zone benefits. The benefit of the crowd that will come there, the benefit of the business that will be done there, the benefit of the fact that people will be perpetually pulled to that corridor. And one of the beauty of that corridor is new things, new vision, new enterprise, new dream. Oh, and by the way, by the time we begin to talk to you about prices, you'll be shocked. 10 minutes from us is the one which the government itself initiated. There's an estate the government initiated and is selling for $250 per square meter, while Makarios is selling their own for just about $100 per square meter. Buy where logistics and industry converge and invest before full industrial activation. Let me just take you again by saying buy land, buy land and bank it. Because you see, when you bank the plots early, 47, 48, when you bank the plots early, you now have value. Some people, when we launched Makarios Luxury Place, they bought 2 plots, 3 plots. The man who stretched himself and bought 2 500 square meters for 55, 57 each, which ended in 110. In 2-3 years, their land is now 300 million in value. And we're talking of a land that already has infrastructure. The road is there. The water is already been directed to each plot. As I speak to you, Makarios Luxury Place, we are installing electrical equipment that is of the latest. For some of you who came out of Nigeria, you know what our transformers look like. Once you go past a transformer, you already know it. No, Makarios transformer is actually a box. It's the latest. It's a box. And as I speak to you, they are installing so that before July, in fact, some people are already building their house. People in Luxury Place will start living. And in Makarios Champions Place, right now, we're getting ready to lay the foundation for the apartments. Target future commercial conversion zones also inside Makarios Luxury Place and Makarios Champions Place. We have the commercial zones, schools, event place, hotel, where people can build and take advantage of the core in the future. Buy before the international airport's completion, 4950. The work have already started at the international airports. And if this current administration is unable to finish it, because this current governor will finish by May next year, whoever takes over will have to finish that airport because it's been signed, sealed, and now it needs to be delivered. Oh, and by the way, Makarios Champions Place and Makarios Luxury Place are facing the coming train. You see, what is a coming train? Lagos has about 3-4 lines. And I personally believe that the line that's coming from Marina to Ekpe that will pass in front of the 2 estates is going to be the busiest. In fact, Makarios Champions Place, where the Airbnb, where the apartments will be, takes advantage. Makarios Luxury Place is looking at the station opposite. Makarios Champions Place is going to have possibly a station just beside it. And we have entry points from 3 points, so we have an advantage. It cannot be a blocker to us. 51, 52 target areas attracting expatriates. Many times people who are from our country debate rents. Those who are going to live in the Makarios area because of proximity to the various trade zone and the business district coming up, they don't have the time to debate. They are ready to pay. Invest in infrastructure-ready estates. Like I told you, in Makarios, what we do is build an estate with infrastructure in place. Not only infrastructure, but things that will attract. Also, 53, 54, buy inside government-approved layouts. Avoid speculative, unapproved zones. Many people recently saw 176 estates that were published that didn't have those advantages. Because of time again, I want to show you the advantage of you investing. In section 4, I'm going to move into that. I talk of rental and cash flow actions. These are the reasons why you should invest. If it means that, look, you took equity from a house in Europe to buy this, it gives you 2, 3 advantages. One, you have a property somewhere. 2, you have a property that is bringing returns. 3, if it is an Airbnb, you can block weeks when you and your family went. It's a practical working estate. Invest where people must rent. Target professionals, not low-income tenants. Number 62. Even the government is beginning to see that its previous idea of low-income housing may not work. 63, 64, invest in short-let friendly zones. I've just described the villaggio, the rental places to you. It's going to be such that people are secure and people can buy, they can hand it over to us to rent, to manage their Airbnb for them and their short-lets for them. Designed for Airbnb profitability. And then 65, 66, target corporate rental demands. I just told you, when I had the Turkish college renting those 4 apartments, I had no issue. The agent collected, they just paid direct all the time. Invest in estates that allow short lets. That's what we want to allow you to do, particularly in Makarios. 67, 68, buy properties with property management options. In other words, particularly for many of us who live in the diaspora, who don't have the time to go see, you can have the management of your properties by us for a fee. Maximize rental yield per square meter. So when you buy, you are maximizing the money you have put in. 69, 70, choose luxury over volume. I made that mistake many years ago. I did not choose luxury over volume. Some of you may have heard my story. They were selling Banana Island for 40 million per plot, 1,200 square meter plot. Somebody told me they had 20 acres somewhere near the sea, and I'd always loved to own a beach. I put my money. Unfortunately, there was no documentation. It ended becoming what you know today as the deep harbor, as the deep sea harbor. I lost the money. I lost the opportunity of Banana. Banana Island is now about 2 billion for that money which I spent and didn't buy the right place. Invest in serviced apartments. Now let me take you through to another section, which is your advantage as a diasporian. And after that, I'll tell you a little bit about Makarios, which is section 5, your advantage as a diasporian. Your currency, 81, 82, your currency gives you an advantage, but it doesn't give you in London, doesn't give you in Canada, doesn't give you in the United States. If you take your US dollar and bring it to the United Kingdom, we know how to reduce your dollar to almost nothing. Also, if we carry our British pounds and come to America, for our dollar, for our pound, we might just get £1 30p at $1 30 cents, $1.35. Canadian dollar gets the same thing, Germany, etc. But if you carry your money into Africa, you have an advantage because you get leverage, you get arbitrage, a rising through your money. Invest foreign earnings into Naira assets. And look at the people whom I told you. A person living in Texas who bought a land for 33 million. Let us even say, yes, the currency was devalued, but 97 million Naira will still do much more than what their dollar did when they bought the land. So you still have a major advantage. And although I'm not God and I'm not a politician, I can almost, based on my study of Nigeria, I can almost predict that before you have a major currency crash, it may be after 2031. I'm just speaking as an individual. Don't quote and say, how come you are so sure? I'm just telling you as an individual. Invest foreign earnings, therefore, 33, 83, 84. Buy when exchange rate favors you. And right now, it favors because $1 gets you at least 1,400, 1,430, 1,440. £1 gets you somewhere between 1,980, getting close to 2,000. In other words, if a person is buying now, they get an advantage. They get an advantage. Choose developers with diaspora structure. And tonight we're going to present to you the chance to be able to take our diaspora structure to invest, to buy. And matter of fact, whatever we present to you today is a discount corridor because we're launching. And once we close the discount corridor, people will have to buy at the launching price. And you can demand virtual inspection, 85, 86. You can insist on transparent documentation. We'll show you the document of whatever we're doing. You can ask questions. Avoid cash-only developers. We wouldn't even want you to pay with cash. We would want you to have a form of transfer that you did. We wouldn't reject cash, but we're saying in general, we prefer a flow of payment. Buy from audited companies. We are a company with a good management structure, an MD, COOs, ED, CFO, sales department, legal department, engineering. I just serve as the spokesman for the company. 8990, invest in projects with resale flexibility. In Makarios, we don't put a clause there that you cannot resell. I've known estates where if you are going to resell within 2 years, they will share in the profit. We don't do that because my vision in life is win-win. Number 90, demand remote property management. So that if you want us to manage it for you, we can do so. 91, 92, secure post-purchase support. You want us to support you until you take over totally, we'll do that. Choose developers who understand diaspora psychology. People don't understand why sometimes people in the diaspora make certain demands. It's the lifestyle you've seen. It's the quality you have seen. It's the build style you have seen. And that was what motivated us to start Makarios. There is a lifestyle we've seen. There is a quality we have seen. And if you look at our Makarios Luxury Place, we have a whole water show place. Even banks have come and, shall I say, ridiculed me for putting the best part of our land to be a water show place. They expected us to put large buildings there because it's facing the motorway. They thought we should have put large buildings there. But we wanted a place that people can say, I live in the place where you have the Makarios Water Show Place. By identity, not just land. Number 94, by identity, not just land. So when they say, where do you stay in Lagos? Makarios. It's Makarios. Once you say Makarios, most people they know the estate you're talking about. Cannot imagine where I have been in the past 3-4 years. And people have not said, hey, Makarios. 95, 96, and then I'm going to move into what Makarios stands for you, and I'm going to stop and hand over to Mr. Mayo. Hedge against global housing stagnation. There's a stagnation. You need to put a hedge. You need to take advantage. You need to quickly seize the moment. Buy. Ladies and gentlemen, take advantage. 96, repatriate wealth into an appreciating market. Into an appreciating market. Into an appreciating market. Before we started building these apartments, I had some small monies. I wanted to buy small apartments for my grandchildren and put in a trust. I was amazed that as soon as the apartments finished, there was already a tenant for them. Every time an apartment was handed over, there was already a tenant for it. Every time an apartment was finished, there was already a tenant for it. I'm planning probably at the end of this year to tell the tenants, okay, thank you very much. You can leave now and turn it to Airbnb because that's going to make more money as you put people, even if it's not occupied 52 weeks, 30 weeks at $300 or $500 per week is better. I'd like to now take you quickly and begin to round up. I will have taken you through government and regulatory actions, but because of time, okay, I'll do that for 5 minutes and share Makarios for 5 minutes. 101, government regulatory. Buy only government approved developments. Insist, always ask, do they have planning approval? C of O is not enough. Demand verifiable C of O. C of O means certificate of occupancy. And please, my fellow diasporians, let me just let you understand what C of O is. 1978, a general, not a civilian, a general called Olusegun Obasanjo changed the scope of land in Nigeria by making it certificate of occupancy instead of freehold. So please, nobody has freehold in Nigeria. If there's freehold, it's before 1978. But certificate of occupancy gives you 99 years. And by the way, nobody in 99 years' time will now tell you, come and carry your estate away, come and carry your house away. There will just be another negotiation. I'm sure it will not be as difficult as we think. 103, 104, avoid development on Lagos State Government blacklist. 176 estates were published. We had no planning approval, and they were already building, already selling. Invest where approvals are complete. 105, 106, buy estates with drainage master plans. Lagos floods, but we take pride in Makarios that our estate never floods, because what we did from day one was to build above the roads and to connect all our drains to the master drain of the NTDA, New Town Development Authority. Until they gave us approval, we did not direct our water anywhere. We directed it to government approved places. All right. 109, 110 is important before I move. 109, 110, invest where titles are transferable. What does that mean? So when you buy from Makarios, we'll give you what is called root of title. Whereas Makarios has the C of O, Mr. Jeremy Bewon, or whatever your name is, has bought this piece of land. We give him a survey and we give him a deed of assignment that have assigned this particular place out of this C of O to this person. It becomes yours. You can even go higher by taking what we've given you to Lagos to say you want to get governor's consent. We can help you process it. Buy properties that banks can finance also. In other words, when banks want to finance, they like to see good document. 111.112 is important before I go to Makarios. Avoid Omonile control zones. How many people have cried? One of the advantages of Makarios is that we fought all the battles, we faced all the Omoniles, we've taken all the fires, we've faced all the challenges, we've gotten all the documents, bought from government, bought from Omonile. Nigeria is an interesting place. We had to buy twice to ensure that all fires are taken care of and documentations are proper and powerful and strong. That is for Makarios Luxury Place. Makarios Champions Place, we didn't have to deal with Omonile because that one is straight away government allocation. And so let me just quickly take you to Makarios specific power actions from Makarios. Makarios, that is who we are. If you invest in Makarios, you are going to have high standard. Our aim is Dubai standard. We want to try and create Dubai in Africa. That's why we spent close to $2 million on just the water show place. Close to $2 million. Opened by His Excellency, Governor Sanwo-Olu, became the first of its kind in sub-Saharan Africa. By the way, if it's luxury place you want to buy into, there's still land, there's still commercial land. And our commercial lands, we still have a school, we still have a hotel, event place. Anyone who takes advantage, doesn't look at the cost, can buy those ones. Buy into luxury destination, not just housing. Like I just said, I was sitting with a girl who is a guru, maybe one of the gurus of selling property in Lagos. And she is already saying she wants to move out of her estate because of her child, very smart little boy, very smart. And she said, the only estate I can think of at the moment, and she was mentioning our kind of estate, and also the estate where I stay whenever I'm in Nigeria. When it's time, I'm going to move into Makarios. I'm about to actually fence my own portion there. I'm going to live on Eagle Drive because all my cars are Eagle 1, Eagle 2, Eagle 3, Eagle 4. So we have Eagle Drive in Makarios Luxury Place. All our streets, by the way, in Makarios Luxury Place are birds, 27 birds. All our streets in Makarios Champions Place are all names of clubs. Chelsea Road, Chelsea Drive, Manchester United Drive, Manchester City Drive, Fulham, Arsenal. That's the ones I can remember. I think there are 2 or 3 from Europe. I can't remember all the streets. The emphasis of Makarios Champions Place is 4 F's: family, friendship, fun, football. Family, friendship, fun, football. I was raised in northern Nigeria in the military barracks. I speak Yoruba, I speak Hausa, I speak Igbo 60%. Used to be 90%, but travel abroad has messed up my Igbo. It would have been better than what it is now. I want that kind of atmosphere again. I didn't even know who was who. I ate in any house where evening met me, where lunch met me, and my friends ate in my house. Makarios Champions Place, want to create camaraderie. You live on Chelsea, one day all the families on Chelsea will play Manchester Street. I keep saying Chelsea because I'm a Chelsea supporter. So we're going to play Man U Street, we're going to play Arsenal Street, and so on and so forth. It's also going to be a place of friendship. There's going to be a major arena that's going to be built when we are ready. Makarios wants to build almost at the entrance of the place, a major place. But as you enter into Makarios Champions Place, there is going to be a turning left into the Villaggio. The Villaggio is a village with 12 big buildings with 22 apartments each. So that is 22 times 12. something like 240 apartments. So if you can notice that the image they will place on the screen, the road in front to the left of the screen is Lekki Epe Expressway. So you enter through the gate. Once you enter through the gate, you see like an addition to the land to your left after you've entered. That is the Villaggio. So it's like you live in another estate inside another estate. So all the apartments, beautiful, 22 on each block. Some will be only 16 if there are only three bedroom. Some will be a mix. We're doing it according to demand. There'll be 12 blocks here. May I just say that almost, 2 blocks have almost gone. So that addition is the Villaggio. So people live inside Makarios Champions, but people who live in the Villaggio, they enter Makarios Champions, they drive to the left into the place where the Villaggio is. They will have a second gate. If you don't belong in Makarios Villaggio, you cannot enter. When we started the event, you saw a gate. That's what the gate of the Villaggio will look like. So when you buy Makarios, you are owning inside a future African landmark. And I say future, even though it is right now a landmark in the whole of Lagos. If you get to Lagos, you say ahead of an estate called Makarios in Lekki Epe Express, they'll tell you, yeah, we know them. Our 2 estates have the same kind of gate, beautiful iron gate, not bricks. Once you are in front, you can tell. You can leverage Makarios record appreciation. We have so many people who have testimony that they bought their land, have gained value, and that our staff, the way they've responded to them anytime they have queries, questions, etc., is amazing. When you invest in Makarios, you are investing in curated exclusivity. Like I told you again, I'm going to be living in Makarios Luxury Place. I've cut out my own. I have to pay for mine too. I have to pay for mine. I'm taking 5 plots. I can't live on 1 plot. In the place where we live now, our house is on more than 2 plots. So I'm taking 5 plots. I like animals at the moment. I have peacocks. When I get to Makarios, I want to have deer inside my own premises. I like living with animals because you control them. Human beings will give you trouble. The animals, I can tell them what I like. So 127, 128, leverage Makarios water show attraction. 128, invest in Instagram-worthy developments. What do we mean by that? Beauty. Something you can show off if you want to. It's yours when you buy it. 129, 130, own prestige engineered property. We're very particular. In Makarios Luxury Place, there are buildings we chose not to start until we're ready to do it well. For example, in Makarios Luxury, one day we're going to be building 10-floor buildings. And we only suspended it because we want to do it right. 130, buy where emotional buying drives demand. So you combine your feeling and your faith and your conviction. Invest in Makarios as spiritual core concept. I was talking to the MD the other day, said, why were the streets called bird names? He said, because whenever they close in Makarios Luxury Place, and sometimes he takes a walk, the serenity, the quietness, the beauty, and he sees some birds. I said, well, number 1, we want to emphasize nature. Number 2, we want to be environment friendly. Number 3, we don't want to be overtly spiritual. And they say, it's a Christian estate, it's a Muslim estate. But at the same time, we want people to enter and say, what is it about this estate that makes one feel peaceful? Because again, when you live in Europe, when you live in America, and a lot of places, that kind of atmosphere has been created. And my dream, I'm not interested. I'm not looking for to make money to buy a car. going to be 74 next month. I'm trying to build legacy, to do something that people will say, this is Makarios. This is the dream of a man called so and so. So leverage elite neighborhood dynamics, buy where young wealth is moving. The Champions Place, I think, is going to be so popular with a lot of young families. Of course, there are young families in Luxury Place. Invest in tech-friendly estates. Makarios, the two of them are going to be so tech-controlled. No one can enter where you live without you sending them a code to enter. They have no code, they cannot enter. They can reach the commercial section. Makarios Luxury Place and Makarios Champions, the commercial is upon entry. Event place, hotel, school, mall, the water show in one, and football place in the second. But where people live, you will have to be permitted. Choose Makarios flood-free infrastructure. You know about Lagos, and you know about flooding. Not one drop in Makarios. Once it rains, you can't drive into Makarios, and you will not see any flood in Makarios Luxury Place, where we have already finished the infrastructure. All the roads are already done, and it drains. Leverage assist to build services. You live in Europe, you live in America, Canada, you say, I can't come home. I want to build. I want to buy land. I want something my family can stay in. Yeah, use Makarios currency flexibility. We can take Naira, we can take pound, we can take dollar. We're ready for anyone. Benefit from resale and transfer option. Like I told you, there are estates where you cannot sell. They will tell you, and if you sell within 2 years, they must share the profit. I have always believed in win-win. So monetize Airbnb with Makarios management, leverage virtual tour technology, buy into copied but unmatched models. Everyone began to copy whatever we did, but they're still our dreams they haven't seen. Invest in early phase luxury zones and own before mass adoption. You see, the corridor I mentioned, a good number of estates are rising. We have a standard, we have a quality, we have a track record, we have what we want to achieve. Tonight, as I close, and before I bring Mr. Mayowa, I present to you 6 things you can invest into. 1, you can invest into 300 square meters in Makarios Luxury Place. 2, you can invest into 500 square meters in Makarios Luxury Place. 3, you can invest into the villas in Makarios Luxury Place. 5, you can invest into the terrace houses in Makarios Luxury Place. You can invest into the commercials there. And when I take you to Makarios Champions Place, you can invest into 3 or 4 things. 1, you can invest into 300 square meters. You can invest into 500 square meters. You can invest into the apartments, the villaggio, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom, or 3 bedroom, 2 bedroom with the option of a boys' quarter to go with it. Any of those ones, and we'll give you the opportunity to take advantage now. Once you take advantage, then when we launch, you have priority. Like I told you, we've done 1 or 2 road shows, and we're giving you the grace to enjoy what those 2 road shows enjoyed. And you heard me say every day I went to the site because we are launching. We are not postponing. And once we launch, the price changes. So you have an opportunity. Thank you, Mr. Mayo. I need to just stop there and not take all 200 points. Will be just like keeping people here forever. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Pastor Matthew. That was a blast. That was a masterclass.
Thank you.
For someone who studied estate management to a master degree level, I couldn't have done a better job. You did brilliantly well, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Guys, let's give it an applause to Pastor Matthew for that master class. I hope you guys took notes. What is shared tonight are things people pay money for in the city of London. And you can use that anywhere in the world. So, thank you once again, sir. And I'm so excited for everybody here. I want to thank everybody that showed up tonight. We're 306 people that have decided to show up with us tonight. Thank you for showing up. We have people from the US. We have people from Canada. We have from South Africa. We have from Scotland. We have Rwanda, Burkina Faso, Zimbabwe, all over the globe. So this is a global meeting tonight. Thank you for sparing this evening with us. And we believe that Pastor has given you wealth of information that would really, really help you to take decision tonight. And tonight, really, Pastor Matthew, I know that one of the things you wanted to launch tonight to this amazing audience is the Villaggio.
Yes.
What exactly do we have in the Villaggio?
Well, the Villaggio is an attempt to make the demand of some people possible. There are a good number of up-and-coming young professionals who don't want the hassle of a 5-bedroom, 6-bedroom house. They want 1-bedroom apartment. They want 2-bedroom apartment. They want 3-bedroom apartment. They want to own it in a place like Nigeria. Number two, some people want to own it even for business, so that if it is a business, it is being run either as a short let or a rented out place, or they are owning it as an Airbnb. The Villaggio it gives you a huge advantage. It's like a village, but it's an exclusive village. It's a beautiful village. It's a village where you have adequate vegetation, where you have adequate parking. If you buy 1-bedroom, we will guarantee 1 space for your car. You buy 2-bedroom, we'll guarantee 2 spaces for your cars. If you buy 3-bedroom, we'll guarantee 3 spaces for your cars.
Wow.
So the Villaggio is like for the person in the diaspora who he wants to own something that both he can live there when he comes, or he can rent it out when it's not there. The Villaggio presents that opportunity. If he also wants it for people who work in that corridor to be able to rent, it becomes a possibility. But certainly, my dream, my vision, my aspiration is to see that people are not cut out because of the cost of things like the villa called Deliazo in Luxury Place, or the terraces. Some people buy that. We have a good number who have bought that, and we still have some left. So the Villaggio gives you an opportunity to come in. In fact, the Villaggio gives you the opportunity to probably remortgage, take some equity out of your property in Europe, in America, and buy immediately. And we also made it so convenient for you to be able to pay for it.
Fantastic, fantastic. Guys, family, you've heard that. The Villaggio consists of 1-bedroom apartment, 2-bedroom apartment, 3-bedroom apartment. And tonight, Pastor Matthew himself will tell us the prices of these apartments. I know the prices, but I want it to come from him because he's giving us massive, massive, massive discount if you take action tonight. You see, many of us that have lived in the Western Hemisphere, let's say in the United Kingdom, we saw what happened when they were building Beckton. We knew when they were building Milton Keynes. We know when Shafer 100 took off, and a lot of us did not take advantage of those estates I've just mentioned today. In fact, Pastor Matthew is calling Villaggio village. It's not a village, it's in Bejuleki, so that you don't think it's in the Bonis. It's not in the Bonis, it's in the heart of Ibejuleki, where the action is taking place, the new Lagos.
Yes.
So it's an opportunity tonight. And we're going to talk about it, how it's going to be easy for you to afford this. Because The 3-bedroom apartment, I think the price is about £51,000. That's a chicken change. So, Pastor, tell us the prices of this amazing apartment that you've unfolded tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Mayowa. The 1-bedroom apartment is £38,961 4 pence. If you key into it today, I think it's like we're almost shooting ourselves in the foot. It's 31,168.83, which is we're giving you a huge discount. And the 2-bedroom, which is £51,948, we're saying if you key into it today, you get it for 41,558. Now, by the way, the 2-bedroom here in London, 2-bedroom apartment is now somewhere between 200 and 400,000 pounds. And yet we want to make it available 41,558. And let me just say, I mean, all my staff are on the platform tonight. Our MDs there, our EDs there, our COOs are there, our CFO is there. The CFO is there, and they will confirm to you. In order to make these prices possible, we took the land back to how much we bought it in order to make the price possible. We took it back to how much we bought it, so it is bare value in order to really make it attractive. And I'm really telling you that at the end, once we break ground, we're not going to be giving discount. The 3-bedroom is 64,935, but tonight, oh my God, the kind of discount is 51,948. And this in effect means that if you are a person who keyed into this, we also did something on top of this crazy. Makarios does not do what we do with the Villaggio. We're giving you the opportunity. You pay your deposits. There's a minimum deposit you pay, and you can spread the rest for 24 months.
Whoa.
Although first come first are the first to finish paying gets the priority allocation. But we are giving you 24 months. With Makarios, once it is after 3 months, you have to it has to have interest. All our land, once it is after 3 months, it has to have interest. In fact, the staff are still looking at me like, did you get your economics right by doing this? I said, I want the Villaggio to become popular, to become accessible for people. Mr. Mayowa, I was a teenager in 1969. That's a long time ago. I was a teenager in 1969. I was 17 when Kofi Busia of Ghana deported Nigerians who had lived in Ghana 5 generations, 6 generations, and do not know their hometown. They just knew that their hometown was somewhere in Oyo State or Yoruba land or Ibadan. So a long bus brought them and dropped them in front of a cinema called Scala. I think it is Scala, Ikotedu Ibadan. Dumped them in front of that cinema, and they were seated with their load. They didn't know where to go. In fact, they couldn't pronounce Ibadan. You say, where are you? They say, our parents are from Ibadan. They didn't know home. And ladies and gentlemen, when I was advertising this event, and I said, the British government is considering withdrawing passports from people who travel and are coming back home. I read it, I saw it, and I saw a man do a full presentation. It's not scaremongering. So the equivalent of ICE is coming to the UK. It has even started. In fact, they are going to first start with people who are drawing benefits, who are not making any contribution. But God forbid, imagine a person go back and has nothing to fall on. But beyond that, your money can make profit in Africa. So that's the price for the 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom.
Thank you so much, sir. Let me break down price to everybody on this call tonight. Let's take the 3-bedroom apartment.
Yes.
for 50, say 50, let's round it up to 52,000 pounds. Some of us are privileged to have finished paying our mortgage in the UK. Some of us are still paying a mortgage. Let's assume that your mortgage is a rent you are paying. Don't take it as a rent. Averagely, if you live in a 3-bedroom house or apartment in the UK, the rent cannot, if you're in London,
Yeah.
I'm in Dagenham, SS area, a 3-bedroom flat or a house is renting for minimum £2,100. You can check that, go on Rightmove. Check
Are we
it.
in it?
I've just, please mute yourself, please, please, please. I've just rented out a 3-bedroom apartment for £2,300, which means 2-3 in a year. That's £27,000 as rent.
Holy God.
If I pay 2,000, and also for some people that have a mortgage of 400,000, 500,000, if you pay the repayment mortgage, it's going to be about that figure. So what we're saying, the rent you pay in a year or the mortgage you pay in 1 year, 2 years can afford the Villaggio 3-bedroom apartment.
And then the villager will now come back and give you profit as people use it for Airbnb or rent.
Correct. So what are you waiting for? You have the opportunity of a 2 years instrumental payment to key into this project, and you have a product that you can compare to any property in the world. I've been privileged to travel to a few countries in my life. I've been to Dubai. I've been to Portugal. I've been to Turkey. I've been to all over. See, and I'm going to tell you one thing. Pastor Matthew touched about it. The tourism market in Nigeria is going to explode.
Yes.
Very, very soon. See, as of today, the tourism market brings $70 billion to Dubai economy.
Wow.
Turkey, $61 billion to the Turkish economy. Egypt, $15.3 billion to the economy. And Nigeria is just scratching it, $2.95 billion. Don't take my word for this. Go on ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to give you those figures on Google. And I look at the Nigerian weather. I just came back from Egypt last week. When I was in Egypt, the weather is is about 17 degrees. In Nigeria, it was 30 degrees.
Oh, yeah, yesterday was 32.
30 degrees, which means if the Nigerian government packaged Nigeria very well, is a better location. And there's no better place than the Bejuleki access.
Yes.
The Lekki Calabar zone, the coastal road is tourism.
I drove on it 2 days ago.
It's tourism. So, my people, and I'm not saying this to you, I've been in real estate for 37 good years. I'm involved in Makarios. I'm putting my name online for Makarios. It's not a place you are going to regret. Let's even say you don't even want to live there. You are not going to go back to Nigeria and live. You're going to travel to Nigeria one in a year or twice, especially for those of us that are over 50 years now. Personally, I feel like relocating back to Nigeria now. I'm joining this meeting from my office. I've been in this office for the last 20 years.
Wow.
I've been in the country for 25 years. I own an estate agency in Dagenham and in Grace. So I'm not telling you a story. I study estate management as a degree. My master's degree is real estate development. Pastor, when I went to the US to compare the drivers of real estate growth, we had to compare the US drive and the UK.
Wow.
And one of the things that is driving real estate is all that you have shared with us. Infrastructure. 10 years ago, we didn't have rail system in Lagos. Now, is going to pass through Makarios.
Yes.
Dangote refinery is going to be the biggest refinery in the world.
Yes.
These are facts. The deep sea is going to be there.
Yes.
You have an opportunity tonight. The form is on the chat box there. Show your intention.
Yes.
Let's show you how your 1 pound can give you 2,000 naira in Nigeria.
Mr. Mayo, I just saw a question there. It says, when is it going to be ready to live in after paying? You just heard what I was saying. One of the reasons we said 24 months is because we want to under promise and over deliver. So when we break ground in March, I can guarantee you that 2-3 houses will be ready by the end of this year, which is 9 months. But we want people to feel like, in 24 months time, so they have the time to pay. But by December, there'll be we're building 12 blocks. We will have built minimum 3 blocks or 4 by December, if not more. So that's a good question, but we've given you the latitude of 24 months. So one of the reasons I did that, Mr. Mayowa, was because when we went for my wife's 60th to Dubai, one lady pursued us like crazy. So I bought into an apartment in Dubai, and they told me 36 months. Mr. Mayowa, they got that building ready in 24. So I thought to myself, these guys are smart. They gave me the chance to be paying. So by 24 months, my building was ready. I had to look for ways to even redeem the remaining months. Of course, I've since sold it because I've thrown all the money again into Makarios because I want to build a legacy. So we've seen track record, we've seen the possibility. And by the way, as we speak to you today, it took us just about 9 months to build villas, huge 6-bedroom villas. We built 14 of them in 9 months. We built 24 terrace houses, huge 4-bedroom, 24 terrace houses. We built them in 9 months. So the reason we said 24 months is because we wanted to give you the chance of payment. If you came tomorrow, boom, and you redeem the money, you'll be among those. I think I know that 1 or 2 people paid fully up front. Somebody whom I still send the link to her today, having a holiday in Dubai. When we were launching in New York, she just paid straight away, I think for 1 or 2, straight away. So it will be built faster than you can pay.
Thank you so much, sir. I'm going to be taking some questions from the audience.
All right, sir.
Daniel, thank you. You've raised up your hand and we didn't ignore you. You have the opportunity to unmute yourself, show your face, and answer your question, Daniel. Daniel Olukayode.
Or if they send it to you so that.
Okay, I've got some few questions here, Pastor.
All right.
Thank you for this session. I just needed to stress a little bit so that people know the opportunity that we are unfolding tonight.
Okay.
So first question that I have here. Good evening. If you had 10,000 pounds to invest in Zimbabwe, what will you invest it into? I know it's not Makarios' question, but
sure.
Get them to come to Makarios because you can invest anywhere in the world.
If you had 10,000 pounds to invest, if I were you, I will invest either in Harare or Bulawayo. I've been to Zimbabwe several times, and I will invest in Harare, particularly because Harare continues to grow. There has been a serious migration of people from Zimbabwe into the world. In the past, Zimbabwe people never used to go out too much. Their economy was fantastic, but when there was pressure from the things Europe did to them, many traveled out. So look for a place not far from the heart of the city, maybe 1.5 hours drive or 2 hours. Buy land there. get your documentation. That's the first place. The second place may be Bulawayo. Bulawayo is the second largest city. But the third one, which I would have invested in, would be Mutaru. Mutaru, they suddenly found diamonds, diamonds at surface level. So there is a serious migration into that part of the world to mine. So ask questions around. Where are the areas where the Chinese or people are mining? Buy land there with the intent to build. If I were you, that person who asked from Zimbabwe, don't build big houses. I'll just build bungalows. Beautiful 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom bungalows. That's what I'll do.
Thank you so much, sir. I hope that answered your question, the guy from Zimbabwe. And in addition, we just be investing where you believe you can get a better return for your money.
Yes.
Don't limit it to because I'm from Zimbabwe.
Yes.
Money goes with returns. Okay.
Yes.
Second question for you. Will you advise to invest in real estate in UK or Nigeria?
If you had the money, this is the way to look at it. Real estate in the UK gives you returns, but it is as slow as a millipede. Very, very slow. Real estate in Nigeria returns in a level that doesn't make sense. And even Nigeria is broken into about 7 to 8 places. Real estate in the Ivejuleki axis will return your money in 3 years. Ikoyi may return your money in 2 years, but you will have to have $500,000 minimum. Banana will return your money in 2 years, but you will have to have $1 million minimum. But the Bejuleki axis will return your money in 2 years or 3. And like you heard us say, if you now cross the water and you go to Ikeja, you will return your money in 5 or 6 years. If you go beyond Ikeja to other parts of Lagos, it will return your money in 8 years or 10 years. If you leave Lagos to your village, you're on your own. Abuja will return your money in 4 years. Much of Abuja real estate is politicians hiding money. Let's just say it as it is. It's politicians hiding money. So there's a boom in real estate, but there's a lot of issue. It doesn't have the population. What makes real estate sell is population. I've lived in London for 42 years. I came into London when it was close to 5 million. 42 years later, London is now 8 million. Lagos, I came into Lagos about 52 years ago when Lagos was about 6 million. 52 years later, Lagos is 27 million. And in 24 years' time, Lagos is going to be 40 million. So what you look at, the indices for investment in real estate is 1, demography, that is the movement of people into an area. 2, the quality of the economy. 3, the area you are buying into. 4, the possibility of returns. 5, there is inflation. Africa inflation does not make sense, but at the same time, for some reason, people are ready to rent, people are ready to buy, and you need to see the kids or the young men and women who came for Dirty December. Some of them couldn't find enough Airbnb, so 4 were staying in a room. And they would have loved to stay in the hotels. The Airbnbs were sold out. It was unbelievable. So if you ask me, in the UK, London has even saturated itself out of real estate. You have to go outside. And whereas if you go outside, your money takes 5 years, 6 years before you begin to see any tangible return at all. In Africa, your money does not take 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. It takes Lagos 3 years. Your money is returned and your property is still standing. It takes 3 years and your property is still standing. So for a person like me, we never owned a house in Africa until 8 years ago. We just kept buying land, kept buying land. So now you imagine land which we bought 30 years ago, the value today. So if you ask me to vote, having lived in the UK for 42 years, every penny I have, in the light of demographic growth, London is not likely to grow beyond 8.5 million people in the next 10 years. Lagos will hit 30 to 35 in the next 10 years. And the Bejuleki axis, sometimes I just wonder, how did all this crowd reach here? Because I've owned land in that area for 26 years. And I know places that were bush, but they are now huge cities. And in fact, when they put the coastal road, I was surprised at the level of development. So it will have to be Lagos. If you buy Makarios, you are 15 minutes from the sea if you want to go to the beach. You are 20 minutes from a lot of infrastructure, and you are 20 minutes from the coastal road if you want to travel to your hometown if you are not from Lagos.
Thank you so much. I'm enjoying your questions. Please, if you want to ask your question live here, just raise up your hand and we'll call you. The next question, sir, is, I'm sure you've dealt with this before. How long is the lease on the flat? Talking about the title of the property, the Villaggio.
Remember what I told you earlier? The lease given with the certificate of occupancy is 99 years. So by the time you come into Makarios, by the time we finish your building and you are occupying, the document will give you will read something like 96 years. 2-3 years will have gone out of it. So you will have 96 years. There is no freehold in the whole of Nigeria. I own hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of land in Nigeria, 200 acres near Abuja, all across Lagos. But can you believe I only own half a plot that is freehold in Tinubu? And even that one is because somebody had to use their great-grandmother's house to pay me back the money they absconded with. Other than that, everything is. So when we give you, it's not going to be less than 96 years.
Thank you, sir. So it's similar to what is obtainable in the UK if you're
it's 99 years like here. And I'm sure at that time people will renew. It's not going to be so onerous. People will renew.
They can't deny you from renewing, so it's your right.
Yes.
That answered that question. Thank you for those answer. My next question to you is, if I buy a land in Makarios Champions Place, can I build and use it as shortlets?
If you build in Makarios Champions Place, yes, the only thing we will do is we will work with you to control entrance, exit of the people who live there. Because remember, we're trying to protect people. Because one of the things I saw one person raise before we started this evening, there's insecurity in Nigeria. Lagos is amazing. Every estate that I've created a good firewall system, people are secure, people are fine. If you come into my estate where I live at the moment, which Makarios decided to take some concept from, people are going jogging 3 a.m. in my estate. And because I live in the waterfront, I can see them jogging by 3 a.m., 4 a.m. That's the life we want for Makarios. So if you now put somebody for shortlets, all we will do is that we'll give you the code system you give your tenants. And we will also be part of vetting the people who stay there for you.
Thank you. To buy, how do I get connected if I want to? Okay. I'm sure you've answered it, but I'll still ask you so that they don't think I'm not reading their question.
Okay.
If I buy the land in Makarios, is the payment installments or pay at once? Also, how do I get connected if I want to invest in Makarios?
Sure. Tonight we are going Tonight we are connecting you. We have everybody's online. We have numbers. We have the form. We have everything ready for you to do it tonight. In fact, we don't want you to do it another day. That's the answer to the first one. When it comes to our land, I like them to show the cost for land for Champions Place. If you have me move land to where they can see it now. In the Champions Place, a 300 square meter is 50 million. We discounted it to 40 tonight. If you decide to pay in 6 months, it will become 45. If you decide to pay in 12 months, it will go back to 50. As you can see now, no, I mean, it's the Villaggio that we did not change the price over the 24 months. You can buy land tonight. You can buy the land tonight. Your 300 square meters will be 20,000 pounds. Let me to put the pound equivalent like you did earlier. Your 300 square meters will be 20,000 pounds. If you spread it over 12 months, it'll be 25, let's just say 26,000 pounds. The 500 square meters is 35,000 pounds. If you spread it over 12 months, it'll be 44,000 pounds. And may I kindly advise you people from London, you've lived in tiny, tiny rooms all of your life in the UK. I wouldn't have advised you to buy 300 square meter. Although you can build big rooms, I think you should have some land around your house. Maybe you buy 300 square meters or buy 500 square meter so that there's space your children can run around, because Nigeria has what we call statutory requirements when it comes to the space you have to live on the left and the right and the back and the front. Not like England, where my house is joined to another person's house and they are all standalone houses. So I go through it again. If you want to buy land, and tonight is available to you, the discount, 300 square meters is 20,779. You pay it over 12 months, it's 26,000. Let's just say that. You only get change of 26 pounds. If it's 500 square meters, it is 35,300. You spread it over 12 months, it's 44,159. So the land is available. You build your dream. By the way, Makarios does not want a barrack style one. Makarios does not want a ghettoization two. So we only allow one house on one plot. You can't build 4 flats on your plot. You know, the old Nigerian style where people build 4 flats on a plot. We don't allow it. And you find that therefore the villaggio which we're talking about, the amount of land around each block is so much. So this is the price for the land. You pay upfront this amount, you get a discount. We can even allow you to pay it over 3 months and still pay 27,779. We can allow you over 3 months to pay for 500 square meters, 35,325. But once it crosses the 3 months, you will have to pay 300 square meters, 25. And you will have to pay 500 square meters, 44,159. Tonight, you can find more details on global.makariosluxury.com. But we have our staff right now ready to answer your question. And we want to send the forms to everybody. Matter of fact, my counsel for all those in the room is to send the form to everybody on the platform instead of sending per request. Anyone who came into the room tonight, we want you to take advantage, because whatever advantage we gave you, we're not going to give everybody. Since you have completed the form, we want you to go to global.makariosluxury.com and fill your form. Then we'll follow up and you make your deposit kosher. You let us know what you want, land or the villaggio. I saw somebody ask the question in Makarios Luxury Place. How much is the villa? The villa is 6 bedroom with a cinema inside, and that 6 bedroom includes a maid's room, standalone. They're very huge buildings, and they go for something in the region of, I think, £280,000. The terraced building goes for something in the region of £230,000. The terrace building, we call it the Antizo, is 4 bedroom, huge, terraced. But the villa, the Diliazo, which is the 6 bedroom, and some of them have been bought by people in London, people in the US. The Diliazo is huge. It has 6 rooms. The toppest level is just a room and a walk-in wardrobe. The top of the villa is just one room and a walk-in wardrobe at the top, so that you and your husband or you and your wife, you live at the toppest level. It's 3 floors. Our villa is 3 floors. Our terrace is 3 floors. I wish they could have shown the image. Those two are 3 floors. But land in Makarios Luxury is also, you can buy it, pay within 3 months, or pay, and if it goes beyond 3 months, then it will accrue interest. Any other question again?
Yeah, we still have a few more questions, sir.
All right.
And some of this question relates to the distance. Somebody's asked, how many minutes drive from Makarios to the coastal road? And another person asked if the coastal road is linked to, if Makarios is linked.
Okay. Makarios is facing Lekki Expressway. You just drive and make a turn to go to Coastal Road. From Makarios Luxury Place to Coastal Road is 15 minutes. From Makarios Luxury Place to the Coastal Road is 15 minutes. So Makarios is facing the Lekki Expressway, which is a major road, about 6 lanes. Now you want to go to the Coastal Road so you can drive either back to town or go out of Lagos. It's 15 minutes from Makarios. From both Makarios really, they are equidistant to where you will turn to go to the Coastal Road. Both of them are equidistant to join the Coastal Road. So we have a huge advantage of the 2 Makarios facing a major road called Lekki Express, and also being able to go back and join the Coastal Road.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
The apartments, are they going to be furnished or unfurnished?
When we build for you. You are the one who will furnish. And the kind of price we have given you, we cannot build and also furnish at that kind of amount.
Plus,
but we are going to
taste.
Say what?
People will furnish to their taste as well.
So you furnish to your taste. If you say, I don't live in Nigeria, can you help me furnish for Airbnb? We'll send you the bill, the cost. You finance it. We will furnish it. We certainly will do it in a way that it will be attractive to those who want to come. And by the way, let me quickly say, I've listened around, and people have been disappointed that the image they saw of Airbnb in some places in Lagos is not what they meant. We have too much of a reputation than to build that kind. We are going to build what you see. And in fact, one doctor came from the Midlands and drove into Makarios with his wife. And he said, now we have seen what we saw online, that what is on ground is better than what we saw online. Better than what we saw online. The people who bought the villas have brought their families to come and view. The children are already picking their rooms. And I can tell you that before July, somebody is moving into their villas. So We can furnish for you. You can furnish yourself, but we build and you furnish. But take advantage and go online and fill the form tonight and take advantage of the depositing from tonight. Our staff are also waiting and the team are also waiting. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, sir. For tonight, guys, all you need to show your interest is £2,500. And the rest will be spread for the next 24 months for you. So you won't get a better opportunity like this. Some of us have traveled to Dubai. We've traveled all over to Greece, to Spain. You won't get this property at this price. This property also can be your holiday resort. So let's take advantage. I have a double-barrel question, sir.
Sure. And everyone who is online, if you have a question, please post your question. Don't worry, we'll take your question. Please post your question. Your question is important to us, and we don't want to avoid any question. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, yes. The question has to do with ground rent and service charge. How much is the ground rent or the service charge going to be for Makarios?
For Makarios Champions Place, ground rent and service charge will be when the estate begins to function. Usually ground rent and service charge covers mostly a little of ground rent, mostly of security, and mostly of the services provided. And it's usually minimal because we are conversant of the fact that the people who own it, when we engage an electrical company, the owner told me, said, people are very funny. They are ready to pay hundreds of thousands of pounds to buy a house, but they worry about the 500, 600 pounds a year that the service charge will cost. So if you own Makarios a villa or apartment, what you just heard me say, something like 500 pounds for a whole year. It wouldn't be more than that in the next 2-3 years. I cannot see it be more than that.
Thank you, sir. Next question. Is the deposit refundable if in case my circumstances change and unable to complete demanded payments?
If it is a deposit, of course, we will return your deposit. But if you have paid for probably it's 24 months and you paid for a year, it means we have committed your money to begin to build. We would lose if you now pull out. So in that kind of a scenario, we have to be honest with you. In the luxury place, we have deducted 25%. But if it is that you have crossed the 1 year barrier, we will only encourage you to finish and not to pull out. In the luxury place, we have pulled out 25%. And if we find that a person is struggling, we find a way to work with them and help them to see that they finish their payment. So they don't lose in the end. I saw that somebody put a question on the screen. It says, if you are from another country, can you buy in Nigeria? What are the foreseeable returns in pounds after 3 years? Number one, you can buy in Nigeria. Number two, if you bought a building and you paid fully and it's now functional, if you told us to put it out for Airbnb, like we told you, there's a huge demand for Airbnb and people are not finding some of them to be satisfactory. If they can put the image of the Villaggio on the screen again, what you see in this image is what we are going to build. I am committed to it. That's what we are going to build. That's how the place is going to look. I think we even had a video. That's what we are going to build. So we are convinced that people will love the Villaggio. I can see your money bringing back returns faster than the UK could have ever done for you.
Fantastic. Somebody just said, wow, someone just made a deposit. This is awesome.
Oh, cool.
Let's keep filling that form and taking action. You see,
Yes.
life is about taking action.
Yes.
2026 is not going to be different from 2025.
Yes.
It's the same 365 days. It's the same evening, morning, night. What moves people forward are the decisions. You know, many people live in the United Kingdom in their right, they have access to right to buy, and they did not exercise that right until that right was taken away almost last year. You see
Oh,
people live in a flat that they could have bought for 30,000 pounds, 50,000 pounds.
but they
Government was
didn't
even
buy.
giving discount of about 110,000 pounds. But people don't take action. When it was now too late, people were running, oh, how can I buy my property? I was too late. I don't want that to be our case tonight.
Yes.
Please, even if you can't afford it now, come and discuss with us. We can
Sure.
show you how it is possible. Because
Sure.
there are 6 different ways you can become a part owner of this estate.
Sure.
You can
Uh,
remortgage, you
sure.
can get a bridging loan, you
Sure.
can partner with a friend, you can
Sure.
partner with your husband and your husband and wife can buy. You can do further advance from the bank. There are so many ways. You can decide to sell a property that is not performing even in the UK
Yeah.
and plug into this.
Mr.
Especially if
Mr.
you
Mayo, I just saw two questions I want to quickly handle.
okay,
The
sir.
first one said, please clarify, what are we buying? Are we buying land or built property? It's both we have presented to you tonight. You can buy land inside Makarios Champions, 300 square meters, 500 square meters. You can even say, oh, I want 1,000 square meters. You can also say, I want to buy the commercial section. You can buy and hold and then sell later. But then you can also buy the apartments. So in Makarios Champions, we have two things, land and apartments, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom. Then we have land. You can buy land, 300 square meters, 500 square meters, either of the two. Any of them you can buy. I saw somebody also ask something about power. I love the question the person asked. And I think one of the things we are going to do is that with these particular apartments, we're going to put solar so that at least solar is carrying all the lights in your house. And of course, we will create a system whereby you charge to get power. Once you charge, you get power. You didn't charge, you don't get power. We will bring in the electricity board, but even in my house in Africa, we have three powers: generator, solar, and the electricity board. So if the generator and the electricity board are not working, the solar carried all the light in the house, including television. The only thing it didn't carry is the air conditioning because we didn't even install to that level. So we're going to install to the level of convenience. The only thing is you get power as you pay for it.
I have a question here, sir.
Yes, sir.
What is the advantage of Ibejuleki in comparison to Ikate or VGC area?
Ikate VGC area, number one, there is no land to buy. Number two, the amount you are getting here, you'll have to pay 3 to 4 times. And whereas it is only 30 minutes away. Ikate and VGC are 30, 40 minutes away from this place. But yet, if you find a plot of land, it will be out of reach for some people. If you find an apartment, it will also be 3, 4 times what we are selling it here. For example, in Lekki Phase 1, the exact building Makarios is selling villa, the exact villa Makarios is selling 525 million Nigerian currency is being sold there for 950 million. And yet the difference is 45 minutes, 50 minutes journey. So, but it's real estate. That's the way real estate is.
Location.
Yeah, if you are in the heart of London, one bedroom can be 400,000 pounds. In the heart, in fact, it also depends on where. In the heart of London, and meanwhile, the same 400,000 pounds, if you go to a village of Essex, you might buy yourself a 3-bedroom house standalone. So Ikate, VGC, yeah, those are great places, but it will be 3-4 times the price of what, and it will not be the quality because, thank you for that question. VGC made a mistake. Built by Israelis, but they made a mistake of not measuring their estate to be higher than the road.
Yeah.
So it has taken the residents, after overflooding of their house, to now try to look for a way to fight the flood. They did not build the estate to be higher than the road, and they built the almost same level as the lagoon. So VGC has only just started to come out of the flooding problem. Makarios, both Makarioses are above road level, above drainage level, so that rather we drop in our drain than climb in our drain.
Quickly, sir.
Sure.
Please, can you kindly explain more about the difference between C of O and deed of assignment?
All right.
Also, what is the legal recognition of deed of assignment, and does it guarantee full legal ownership?
A C of O, a certificate of occupancy, is one that comes from the government and says, the government says, occupy this place. A deed of assignment, therefore, means that when I was given the certificate, I cut some part of that land to you, Mr. Mayowa.
Yes, sir.
How would you know that you own that place and it is no longer mine? I have to do a deed with which I assigned the right for that portion to you. It is no longer mine. But in doing that deed for you, I made reference that whereas the government have given me a certificate of occupancy for this piece of land, I cut out 500 square meters for Mr. Mayowa out of these 100 acres. And I put beacons, which if Mr. Mayowa goes to Lagos State lands and they put the beacon detail, boom, in the computer of Lagos State, Mr. Mayowa's name will shoot out. That's what Makarios does. When we buy a place, we first get a surveyor who comes and cuts it into plots and puts beacons. After they put the beacons, we now get physical planning approval that it be an estate and it be a certain design. So it is the plot that we have beaconed that we sold to you. So your deed of assignment is strengthened by our C of O. And inside the deed we gave you, we'll even quote it, that this deed of assignment, assigning this portion of land to Mr. Mayowa, is tied to our C of O number BBCD. So it's as good can be. However, some people, after they even buy, they will still go to Lagos State and say, I want governor's consent on my deed. Because at the bottom of the deed of assignment, we put a place there where the government can sign for you. You pay the government, they will search their system if truly we are the owners of the C of O. Once they can confirm, you pay them, and then the governor signs your consent. So it's like on top of deed of assignment, on top of our C of O, you also got governor's consent.
So that means they're having double title in a way.
Double title in a way by going that route.
Yeah.
Although with you tying, with your deed tied to our C of O, you are good. You can build. You just go to Lagos State and say, here's my deed of assignment. I have a plot in Makarios. I want to build a skyscraper.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Well, the next question will be, or somebody have asked in the chat, how many floors will this apartment be? And also, are they lifted? Do we have lift? Are we going to have lift?
The building is 4 floors. The reason we didn't put a lift is because the moment we put a lift, the price will change. Remember, 99% of the things you use in any building in Africa comes from outside. The lift alone will be what will change the price. And once it changes the price, it becomes out of reach for some people. Whereas 3, 4 floors, in fact, there are people who have already paid and they want the last floor. They prefer the topest floor, even though they know there is no lift there. The reason we remove the lift is because the minimum for a lift that will work here, no, that is not the lift inside an individual's house. The minimum that will work in that place will be a lift of about 40 to 50,000 pounds. By the time you spread it to all the apartments, including a lift well, there's something we call lift well, the well through which the lift will be fixed for it to go. So it begins to enter 60,000 pounds. So there is no lift. It is 4 floors. I hope that is clear.
Thank you, sir. Someone just asked, I've answered that, but there's a question that what if they finish payment today, how are they going to get tenants?
You can't get tenants until it is built. But once it is,
let's assume it's finished today. The person said, where's the tenant going to come from? What's his question?
Where do Airbnb tenants come from? The first thing Makarios is doing is we're setting up a Makarios Airbnb section. So your property will be part of the property we advertised. And then people know that, okay, Makarios Luxury Place, the name we respect, has an Airbnb section. And so your property is one of them. And so that's where the tenants will come from. We will advertise. Of course, if your apartment is making $300, it may have cost us $5 for advertising, $5 for administration. So we'll let you know what your apartment cost. So it may be out of your $300, 50 is going towards expenses. Is that clear?
Thank you.
But tenants will come from around the world. I don't think people know the craziness of Nigeria. Emirates runs 2 flights a day. Qatar runs 2 flights a day. In fact, British Airways was restricted because they punish Nigerian airlines, and yet they overload, and they are the most expensive. You can't even believe. Because I come in weekends, my ticket is 11 million naira. When I come either Friday and leave on Sunday, my ticket is 11 million naira every flight. If I come on Saturday, leave on Sunday, it's almost 12 million. Yet the flights are over full. So it's not where to get the people from. It's the quality, and then the story goes out. The story goes out and everybody gets to know about Makarios Airbnb place.
Thank you, sir.
Somebody's asking us to share the price of the village in Naira again. I think we've done that before, but we can always do that if you want us to.
Someone also asked, sir, that why is it in pounds?
The reason we did it in pounds is because we are doing the road show, the roundtable from the city of London. I am speaking right now from a corner of Essex in the UK. And we did where I'm sitting from and where the building is. Please, we apologize if that offends you and you are in the US or Canada. You can quite easily convert either Naira or pounds. If I were in America, I'll convert Naira to dollar. If I were in Canada, I'll convert Naira to dollar and not first do pound to dollar, because sometimes you lose money. Somebody went to Hong Kong with $100 and changed it. By the time they were going back, they want to change back. Since they didn't spend, they were given $90. So The reason is the point from where I'm making the presentation, and number two, the place where we're building. So the Naira for one bedroom is 59,999. And this is because we have discounted heavily by 11 million, by 12 million. The Naira for two bedroom is practically 80 million because we've discounted by 16. The Naira for three bedroom is 100 million because we've discounted by 20 million. Please let me quickly put a caveat. We cannot sustain this price, but once we break grounds, we can't. So anybody who is going to join has to be now, because you can't, please, I beg you, you can't come back and say, oh, but you promised us. It's pretty tight, and my staff are on the line. They will testify to this. When we're fixing the price, we had to take the land back to being without any additional value as we bought it. In fact, we've since incurred more cost to make the ground where the Villaggio will be built for them before they start the soil test. I personally supervise. We've just poured 2,000 trucks of sand there, and they're going to pour another probably 3,000 to 4,000. All this cost was not there. If you hear the cost of a truck of sand, you'll be shaking your head. 80,000 naira because it's discounted. If you hear the cost of the payloader just to push it, is 400,000 a day. A day. These prices we're putting here, we can only sustain for those who jump on the bandwagon now. Go ahead, sir.
I just want to give this audience a very important information. About 15 minutes away from our project is a city called Alaro City.
Yes.
Check it out yourself, Alaro City.
Yes.
And the price for their property is
horrendous.
Like 30% more than what we're offering you.
Oh, it's much more than that.
Yeah. Alaro City, you can Google it. Check
it's
it
$250 per square meter.
So take advantage tonight, take advantage. I can't see any more questions, and we're going to be wrapping up.
Thank you very much.
We're going to be wrapping up.
I just saw one person who said, suppose I want to be an agent and I live in Ireland. That's fantastic. Please, just send all your details to the team here in the UK or the team in Nigeria, or fill it out in the form, and my people will respond to you. Yeah, anybody who's an agent, we have a discount level for even agents.
Yeah. We want to work with you.
Yes.
Let's make magic happen. let's own part.
Yes.
I believe a lot of us here tonight are Christians. And you know that the God we serve is an investor. Every covenant is land. Pastor Mark teach more on that. Land.
Yeah.
Covenant, Abraham covenant, Moses,
all the covenants were signed off with land. Yes.
So, if you want to own part of this world, you need to have your own real estate investment. And that's the only thing that generates return.
Yes.
Asset. God, there's no more land. That's why people are going to the sea now to
create new land. Yes.
More space. So this is a wonderful opportunity. I want to thank every one of you. Pastor Matthew, a question I wanted to ask you, and I will still ask you.
All right.
I know beyond legacy, you've told us it's legacy, but I don't want you to talk about legacy tonight. Okay. Apart from legacy, you're going to be 74. Where do you get this energy to still do what you are doing? And why are you doing this for people in the diaspora? Why?
One of the greatest.
You get money, you are comfortable, you could have just been enjoying your lifestyle, enjoying with your family, and you are still doing this at age 74.
Okay. One of the things that have driven me has always been the passion to see people win. The passion to see people win, to see people smile, to see people laugh. Let me give you one funny illustration. Just beside Villaggio, there are some lands the government have not yet allocated it to us, but water has flooded the houses there. The people who owned it came to us and said they want to sell. So we are buying them out so that it's going to even give people who are buying Villaggio the chance to see the road so these people will not block them. And after we've paid them, the people went there and were removing everything because they are building somewhere else. And my staff were angry. We bought house, we are pulling it down. I said, let them, leave them. So one of them came and said, Baba, we bought a house, not land. And the old man was kneeling down. It so touched my heart. I said, no worries, go and take all you want to take. The man was like, you elevated him. Second one too came. I said, go and take care, go and remove all the iron, remove the sheets, remove what you want, and go and build wherever. The lifting of their spirit gave me such a great fulfillment that day. For me, I love to create winners, champions. I love to see people prosper, increase. Those who are part of our church in England know that I always push people. I desire for every member of my staff here in the UK to own properties, to own things anywhere in the world. So my vision, my passion is people winning. That's what my motivation is. Apart from creating legacy, I like to see people not wasting away their life, their effort, their dream, their blessing, but making a difference and creating winners out of people. That's what drives me.
Thank you so much. And I'm privileged to be one of that testimony. I am a testimony of what is just said. Guys, let's take territory.
You're welcome.
That's one of his motto, taking territory.
Yes.
Guys, I want to celebrate every one of you that have shown up.
Thank you.
The form is online. Fill it. If you are not ready tonight, if you still have more questions you want to ask,
sure,
I'm available. And the team there also is available. You might not want to call Nigeria, you want to call UK. We have our team in the UK as well. Just reach out to us.
Yes.
Yeah, I believe our number also in the UK is somewhere there that you can call, and we can take your question from Monday forward. But take a decision.
Quick.
Like I said, 2026 is not going to be different from 2025.
Yes.
It might just be the moment you're waiting for to push yourself to do something great.
Yes.
If you can't buy in the UK, you can buy in Nigeria. £52,000 is what this project is all about, and you can spread it.
Yes.
You can spread it. Pastor, I want to push you further. I don't know if I should ask this. Can people do more than 2 years? If money is tight and they can't afford to do 2 years, will you be gracious to spread further than 2 years?
Well, the challenge will be once we give people that leeway, they overstretch. We want people to be strict, to do strictly the timeline we agree with them. Okay. If we say, okay, you paid 22,500 pounds, and we said this is your monthly due. We want people to stay within that time period. If people are not stretching more than an extra 3-4 months on top of the 2 years, we can still handle that. I would say instead of 24 months, if it's going to 30, I know my staff will be kicking where they are, but we'll handle it. We'll allow it. At least it helps somebody to own something and to have a major thing going on. Yeah. But then it means that they will have to be the last one to be allocated. Okay. But whoever pays first come, first served. First come, first served. And it gives you a lot of advantage. When I finished paying the apartment in Dubai, can you even believe I never saw it? And I was selling. I never saw it and went there and then sold and put the money in Makarios. But that is the advantage. So we will leave that, we'll give that leeway where it becomes necessary on a case-by-case basis. But the persons must understand that they will be the last one to be allocated to. But your question is good because it then helps the person to see that, okay, 40,000 pounds over 3 years, I should be able to stretch myself to spread and make it happen. So
Thank you.
let's take advantage, because after the launch, we will not be able to maintain the price. Anybody who's going to take advantage must take advantage now. There are some of you who are on the system. You want to do beyond these apartments. You want to do the commercial. I know there are people who ask questions about commercial, the land for school, the land for event place. Please take advantage and do so. Thank you so very much. God bless everyone.
Thank you, sir, for this concession, and thank you for showing up tonight, sir. I know you're a busy man.
Thank you.
Give us this. This is like part 2.
Yes. Thank you.
We're going to do more of this year. And
yeah.
you know, if you know any of your friends, anyone, in fact, you can partner with us. If you know anyone, you are buying and you are bringing a friend, you get a discount.
Yeah, we'll give you a discount if you bring a friend who enjoyed buying. We just turn it to a discount for you. Somebody could just be smart. All your introductions could end up buying for you.
So that's a business for you. So let's be creative.
Yes.
So
thank you.
Thank you. This
thank
is
you
where
very
we're going to draw the curtain tonight.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. We appreciate you.
Thank you. All those who are abroad, the lady in Dubai, she said it's 1 a.m. here. I'm feeling sleepy. Wow. Good night.
And I believe you guys have got a lot of value tonight.
Yes,
let's give Pastor Matthew. Let's celebrate him.
Thank you very much. Appreciate. Thank you very much.
Take action. Our numbers, the UK numbers are there as well.
Yeah. UK Nigerian number, UK account, Nigerian account. And those of you in the US, please just convert the naira to dollar. Canada, convert to dollar. South Africa, convert to rand. Any nation you're in.
And we have US contact as well.
Yeah.
Let's put it on the wall as well. Our US contact.
Yes.
For those who are in US or Canada.
Yes.
You might just want to take this conversation further.
Yes, please.
Thank you for this roundtable conversation. I believe you've got tons of value from this information we shared tonight.
Thank you very much.
I cannot wait to serve you much better. Yes. Let's get those forms coming in. Take the decision right now.
Thank you.
Because if you don't do something tonight, tomorrow other affairs
and like we say, it's first come, first serve. So it's the people who are first on the system that get the first buildings.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
God bless. God bless. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.